Hello, hello, my forget-me-nots. Sleeping Lady here, ASMR. And in this video, we are going to be going through a Magnolia Journal for fall 2022. We are going to have it with fresh cup of hot coffee. And this is my first cup of the day. And I am pretty excited for it. So cheers. I also got some salami, pepper jack cheese, and a fresh batch of pumpkin bread right here. So it is nice and warm. This is my first time going to be looking through this Magnolia Journal. I am excited for this because I do enjoy Magnolia Journals. It says the fortitude we gain along the way. So let us begin and open this Magnolia magazine. Made for enjoying life's ups and downs, made for what you're made of. This is a grand karaoke. A very gorgeous car and shiny. Earth in hand with Magnolia only at Target. They always make their food look really delicious. And this is perfect because we are also having yummy food. A perfect setting. Also, my first meal of the day, but I think it goes hand in hand with this magazine. And a good time to wind down. And look at this, I see a girl, and it says witness great places in color. Good vacations show you cool new things about the world. Great vacations show you cool new things about you. If you're looking for a perspective expanding trip chock full of stories you'd never forget, go great places in South Dakota. You'll be surprised just what you learn about yourself. We have here is fortitude into the hands of others. Some call it grit, deep roots, taking new ground, afternoon snacks, our favorite, slow soups and stews, yum. Another favorite. And then we have over here, design a place in time, a home for hosting, seeing a potential in vintage. Find comfort here, and pressing toward beauty, prayer plant, reflect. The first days of fall, Alison Flex, or Felix, Alison Felix. And then a letter from the editor, Magnolia Post, Joe's fall favorites. Chip's fall favorites, a note from Joe, waiting on fall. Chip gets the last word. Source book, Magnolia Manifesto. But yes, these are the contents: fortitude, food, design, and lifestyle. Another bite of the pumpkin bread. Tylenol, extra strength acetaminophen. I personally don't like spray-on deodorants. I like the ban deodorant I always use. It lasts for a very long time, and I don't seem to get that stench when I use my ban deodorant, BAN. And I get it in Shower Fresh. Shower Fresh, I get it in Shower Fresh. Fortitude, a letter from the editor. I'm excited to hear about this. Autumn holds the place between the richness of summer and the scarcity of winter, between leisurely hours and a return to routine, between sun-soaked skin and the warmth of new layers. This season of turning leaves in deeper hues and the comfort of favorite books. Favorite boots, and the comfort of favorite boots knows the art of transition. As fall unfolds at its own tempo, we are reminded that change needs ease, that progress has its purpose, that grace only knows to flow forward. Our theme this season is fortitude. It feels a little heavy to you. You're not alone. Our magazine team spent hours discussing the weight of the world. What surprised me the most was how many people on our team didn't think they had fortitude. How many of them considered it to be a trait reserved only for a few. And yes, fortitude has been hard-won by some who have endured extreme situations that require deep courage of the soul. But can't fortitude also be forged in moments that are more common? The kid who falls off their bike the first few tries but then finds the strength to ride again. The woman who wants the job so badly that even after being told no, she still finds a way to get a resume in the door. The man who sits on the tractor in blazing heat and then in a few months' time has a crop to show for it. done in your house and cooking. It takes time and effort, but you have fortitude. Even though you're very tired, but you get it done. And the end goal is that you are done and now you get to enjoy your food and a clean home. Just as simple as this pumpkin bread. It takes some time and effort to make, and then you get a delicious treat after. Because, to be honest, sometimes we don't want to cook. Or sometimes we're just beat up after work. But even so, you are tired. Just have fortitude. And then you will reward yourself with a hot meal. Fortitude often isn't earned in a day, but in the steady resolve to learn from that which grows us. The extraordinary part, we rarely notice it's there until we need it. It's like a tree that's small but has deep roots. Our strength is often only shown when circumstances attempt to uproot us. That's when our ability to stay grounded, be centered, and weather the storm proves how much fortitude has been quietly growing in us just beneath the surface. The aim of this issue isn't to gloss over the struggles inherent in fortitude, but instead to find new ways to frame them. If that exploration is of interest to you, look to Some Called Great on page 68. Definitely will. In Taking New Ground on page 104, we see fortitude expressed in the lives of 8 very different people who affirm our belief that fortitude is not one size fits all. When you are ready when you are ready for your own transition from summer to fall, the first day of fall on page 58 offers ideas to be intentional with your mind, house, and activities. Food. Good food is one of my favorite ways to get all the people I love on the same page. My hope is that pumpkin spice and everything nice on page 92, and low and slow and stews on page 98 will offer inspiration for those gathering meals. No matter where you are during the end of a draining season or taking rest in the reprieve of a more refreshing arrival, my hope is that this issue will offer encouragement for how far you've come, as well as motivation to persist, so that you not only look back and feel good, but also know that because of your perseverance, you can go forward steady and strong, full of precious fortitude. Love, Joanna. Joanna sounds like an independent, strong, motivated woman. Joanna Gaines, and this is one of the reasons why I love her magazine. She looks so happy right here with her husband. It says Daddy's little girl on her arm. Is that a pen? Must be, because she's holding a pen right here. She's an actor, writer, overachiever. Write your own rules. Yeah, it's probably a pen that she has right here, not a tattoo. Wow. I see a setting spray by Tatcha. I like that one, but I ran out of it. Quick, and I'm not probably going to get it again because it was too expensive for a tiny one. But I really enjoyed Tatcha setting spray. It was nice and dewy, so aesthetically pleasing. Look at a bowl with chopsticks. And I always want to get one of these, but I already have a blender, so no need for it right now. Joe's fall favorites: KitchenAid cordless immersion blender, ramen bowl, cotton napper, serving board, Magnolia salt and pepper shakers, 18-inch fancy taper candle, paradise pound puzzle, etc., etc. And Tatcha skin mist. Oh, I love this Tatcha skin mist. And Dove Deep Moisture. Take your skin to a better place. Dry skin made me say no to everything. Now I'm AS mom. Get almost 30 minutes more restful sleep per night. We take care of the science. All you have to do is sleep. These are very extravagant and very expensive, I bet. I wouldn't personally get the moving ones. I'd probably just get like a regular bed. Not like the whole move thing. But it's good for some people though, which is convenient. And this is her husband Chip's fall favorites. Thanks for the energy. Afternoon snacks when it comes to the hours between lunch and dinner. Little pick-me-ups can make a big difference. Here are 4 snacks with stamina-stocked ingredients to help you finish the day strong with fortitude. Crisp toasted oat granola bars, fruit and nut chocolate drops, easy energy bites, no bake fruit and nut bars. I think my favorite would be fruit nut chocolate drops. What would be yours? Crisp toasted oat granola bars, fruit and nut chocolate drops, easy energy bites, or no salami too. Salami reminds me of my dad. And this in the corner says, just a little bit fancy. Find comfort here for warmth, for memories of those who loved them, for shelter within a cozy cocoon. Blankets wrap us in comfort. Speaking of comfort, it is my day off and I'm so cozy and comforting right now because I'm using a robe after a nice hot shower, and it is the mid-morning, close to the afternoon, and I am nice and cozy with my first cup of coffee. And this story is by Avery Owens. My grandmother had a quirky obsession with blankets of every shape and size. She was always on the hunt to grow her collection, rarely came across one that she didn't find a reason to love. My grandfather still has a cabinet filled with her finds, a treasure chest stacked with patterns and textures. That's funny. Such is the way with blankets. They are utilitarian items that can easily become more. One of my most cherished possessions is the blanket my mother crocheted for me. When the day is long and I miss the simplicity of childhood, I reach for this blanket and exhale under its warmth. It takes me back home, wrapped in the blanket my mother made for me. Sometimes I think about the day I will give it away. Perhaps I will have a daughter of my own, and I will use it to wrap her in comfort and love. Every fiber of the material representing moments of peace and calm. Until then, I pull it tighter around me. I love writing. One of my favorite things to do is writing. Now, you can have another bite of the salami. Blanket basics: wool, cotton, linen, fleeced cashmere. I would like to feel cashmere blankets. I love cotton. Not too much wool. Of course, linen. I don't know about fleece. But let's read into it. Wool. A favorite when weather gets cold. Wool is widely considered the warmest textile to wrap up in because it can also be itchy. Consider using it when you have another layer, like a sheet or clothing between blankets and skin. Cotton, this everyday material, is soft and breathable, making it a common choice for blankets. Cotton will stand up well to repeated washings, which makes it a good choice when reducing allergens is a consideration. Linen is often thought of a summer material because its natural fibers. Linen is often thought of as a summer material, partly because its natural fibers are moisture absorbing, which keeps skin dry in warmer months. The durability of linen means it can last longer than cotton, and with age, linen softens. Ooh, that sounds nice. With age, linen softens. Fleece, the soft texture of fleece makes it a cozy and comfortable choice. Just keep in mind that its low breathability means it creates lots of warmth. Fleece blankets are incredibly resilient and easy to care for. Cashmere, this luxurious fabric is made from fine wool of a goat. These animal fibers are soft and can be spun together in a way that makes very strong and durable. Never itchy cashmere. Never itchy cashmere also offers more warmth than traditional wool. Exactly where we should be. We are exactly where we should be. And it says, when you're true to who you are, you're true to where you are. I like that. Stocked for the season. Perhaps more than any other season, fall rolls in with its familiar comforts and dough, pecans for dessert, oats for breakfast, and dashes of cinnamon anywhere and everywhere, from canned goods to spice blends. We've created a list of those tried and true ingredients you can keep stocked in your pantry all season long. So when you're craving a certain meal or treat, you'll be ready to enjoy fall to the fullest. Speaking of that, I'm gonna have another bite of the salami. And what do we have here? Pumpkin spice. Cocoa. Pecans. Tomatoes. Pumpkin. Apples, pumpkins, seasonings, maple syrup, etc. Prepare the pantry as you think through flavors you return to year after year, or even fall-inspired dishes you want to try for the first time. Let this list be inspiration for how you can plan and prep. Baking supplies were oatmeal, breads and pies, chocolate chip, oats, yeast, pecans frozen, pie crusts, flour, dried fruits, canned and dry goods. Ready in fall. And this is more of a list for our pantries. And like, you can actually cut this out and actually make this. It has like the ingredients. Pressing toward beauty. Floral designer Nikki and Rag wants you to find and preserve the natural beauty that surrounds you. I wasn't where I wanted to be. I had gone to school to study design with the dream of finding a career that would put my creative energy to work. But there was no room for that there. I had lost the connection to my inner artist, and that meant it was time for me to leave. I remember against the arms of the sofa, musing out loud. What am I going to do now? I tried to fill the empty space by going on walks with Luna, and I tried to squish with me as we wandered in the forest and the room. The mountainside sanctuaries of Cape Town ended would be in the lush quiet under the bright green canopy of the trees that I would walk my way toward my answer. My mother is a gardener, so I suppose a love of nature and wildlife was already in my blood. I was always the one to stop and smell a rose, pick it and cup it in my hand, ever so gently, until I returned home to press it for a keepsake. This increasing connection to the plants around me inspired me to start pressing flowers again. What would it be like to return to that childlike sense of appreciation and awe of the natural world as an adult? I needed to find that. I love the ending towards that catchphrase. I love that because it's just a childlike wonder when you open that curiosity and that spark again. It's just so beautiful. What would it be like to return to that childlike sense of appreciation and awe of the natural world as an adult? We need to find that as well. Thank you to Nikki and Reg. And look at her pressing flowers. So beautiful. She did such a good job. And what is this? Into the hands of others. It says here, from kitchen to kitchen, hand to hand, the passing of cookbooks is the passing of stories. Ooh, I like the way that sounds. And these are all cookbooks. You're lucky. My lambs were making Vienna pastries for dinner. I had held the old cookbook closed, then let it fall open on its own, the way you do it. The way you do when you want a surprise or some great sign, like what to make your family for dinner on a Tuesday in the middle of October. So you let the book open to whatever page it may, revealing those recipes most turned to, or held down between bowl and spoon, as if invisible bookmarks are forever wedged between pages, and you land where the cooks landed before the book was yours. Their favorites, their go-to and specials, their Vienna pastries. I don't know who started with the cookbook I now hold. Someone who liked pencils, fisherman's salad, double recipes, butter. When I took from its worn pages, it's a tender thing, leaving exclamation points. It's that kind of communion that puts the ground back under your feet and gives you something stronger to stand upon, because we aren't alone. We aren't the first or the last. When you need this reminder, this weight of tenderness, this companionship, try opening an old cookbook. Follow someone else's trail and create a meal alongside those who cooked long before you. A place in time. This is a French farmhouse, preserves the story of local life. Intimately intertwined with the landscape, a 19th century farmhouse preserves the story of local life. Interesting. Another bite of salami. I would like to see a house like this once in my lifetime. Paved with antique terracotta floor tiles. And it just talks about the landscaping and the structure of the house here. The porch to let in more light. And the kitchen. I like a house with a lot of light too. Every era has a story to tell. You are right. And I'm in debate whether I should get this Magnolia Journal delivered to me, but it might get too expensive. I just enjoy this magazine every season. Prayer plant. The simple act of bringing plants into our homes encourages us to build new rituals in the day. Tangible actions like regular watering and tendering become part of our rhythms. Prayer plants are unique in that they offer their own rituals as well. Every evening, these tropical beauties fold their leaves such an emotion that resembles hands folding in prayer. Ooh, I need one. These rainforest natives are happiest when temperatures are warm and humidity is high. For this reason, many people choose a keep. For this nurseries carry the same two types of prayer plant, but between 40 and 50 varieties exist. With a little extra searching, some of these unique beauties could become a part of your space. Made in Italy, authentic and delicious, rooted in flavor. I love garlic. Garlic infused recipes. Oh my goodness. I love this magazine so much. And here it just says, ways to make that. And more. I need to learn how to store and freeze. The first days of fall. The early days of this new season as high temperatures stubbornly refuse to drop and different rhythms aren't quite in full swing. Are a blurry line between what was one summer and what is now fall. It oftentimes is on us to take matters into our own hands and nudge the young season along into all it's meant to be. I finished my coffee. It will be time for a second pour of coffee. Anticipating the shift to fall as our coffee shop order changes from a cold brew to a hot latte, the spontaneity of summer slowing channeled into a more rhythmic schedule. We do experience a familiar shift inside of us. What was a soft, blissful chaos is now a more focused intentionality. What was a sort of blissful chaos is now a more focused intentionality. And we can feel it. We are more settled, more oriented. We know that holidays are just around the corner and that out quickly the year will be over, but we're not there yet. There is something peaceful about this moment in time. The in-between of unstructured summer and the busyness of winter. When we can breathe deeply, soak in the new season, and look ahead to what's to come. Setting the mood. Our home is a reflection of the changes happening within us, and the changes happening within us as a reflection of our home. Even before the temperature outside begins to drop, there's much we can do to usher in the season within the walls of our home. We can light sandalwood candles, spin vibey records, and bake something with cinnamon. We can give our morning coffee a splash of pumpkin creamer and hang cardigans on our entryway hooks. We can fill vases with tones of wheat, umber, and plum, and add extra blankets to the back of the sofa in hopeful anticipation that the outside world will soon match the autumnal atmosphere and we've created inside our home. These familiar moments might border on cliche, but the truth is that we need them. Inviting others in, beach days for high hay rides and swimsuit for cardigans. And we'll all feel so right. We'll get giddy over things like new school supplies and to-do lists, and before long we'll be able to actually feel fall in the air. That's when it will hit us. This is the feeling we were waiting for all along. There is something very human about the changing of seasons, the passing of time together, how we all in one way or another experience these same things year after year. So as we welcome these first days of fall, we make sure to bring others along with us. We bake and bundle pumpkin bread to leave at our neighbors' doors. We write words of encouragement to loved ones who are starting new chapters, new schools, new jobs, and we remind ourselves that we're not alone, that we can embrace this new season together. Waiting on fall. The story of fall is one of strength sown steadily, and it's our story too. It may be no surprise that I love a good reveal. By mid-August, I'm ready for cooler winds and golden leaves. I'm ready to watch autumn sweep up summer's display, and to see the wisdom in what fades. I'm drawn to this measure of life, from what was to what is now. Lessons learned, growth hard won, and turned pages. In some ways, I feel like I was made for this side of life, to create and build and help something prosper. It's the harvesting part. I haven't always been great at the savoring of what we've sown. But this season and this theme of fortitude has me approaching autumn differently. Rather than flipping the page and looking for the lesson learned, I'm sinking into the strength earned. How winter's foresight gives way to the promise of spring, and how the anticipation of spring bursts into the bright possibility of summer. How then the sacredness of summer gives way to a fuller fall. That rhythm is a welcome reminder of the bigger picture. The falling, then rising, the loss that leads to discovery, the sacrifice that pushes towards strength. Wow, that's so strong. The story of fall is one of strength sown steadily, and it's our story too. Seasons of loss and hardship, times we considered ourselves weak. When we look back, it's natural to take note of how that moment changed our course, how the road we traveled either sent us down a new path or forced us to carve out our one ourselves. Less often do we look for the beauty that remained, the strength we learned in difficulty that is still holding us up today. Fortitude is not always a trait. Fortitude is not always a trait you can spot in a person. It doesn't show up in what we wear or how we carry ourselves. But when we're tested, then our strength shows. We forget it's there until the day we need it. Until the day we find ourselves in the middle of hurt or adversity or stress. Until the day something or someone has left us wondering how we'll make it to the next. In our 20 years of marriage, Chip and I have experienced a little bit of all of it. Losing a loved one, shifts in friendships, bills we couldn't pay, moments where our hearts were broken, times when we all hope felt lost and circumstances were out of our control, when all I could think to do was lay face down on the floor and surrender. Soon our oldest son Drake will be leaving home for college, and shame of heartbreaking things. This one comes with a lot of gratitude and excitement, but still, my first child is moving away, and our family dynamic will change because of it, and that can feel like a loss of its own. I catch glimpses now of what that life will look like and wonder if or how many times that might bring me to the floor. What we learn is that life is not about holding out only for the days of brightest possibility. It's not only about finding ourselves a crisp new page. Sometimes, in order to move forward, we have to surrender ourselves to the promise of growth that follows the fall. Easier said than done, yes. 1,000 times yes. It's actually in the middle that we start to wonder if we'll ever have our ending, when summer is still holding on with all it has, and we wonder if maybe fall will never come. It's the moment before you feel the wind pick up, when relief comes in the smallest dose, just enough to let you know you haven't been forgotten. And when you do push through, I'm curious whether you've ever looked back without thinking, I'm glad I didn't give up. Maybe you wish it never would have happened in the first place, but I doubt we ever regret being courageous, because here we see ourselves in the great wheel of transformation. Seasons evolve, leaves change. We do our part of this great becoming. Whatever you might be carrying this year, this season, this very moment, remember, fortitude comes to us in the inches. Remember, fortitude comes to us in the inches forward, not in one fell swoop or one big break. It is what we earn in the days we cling to, what grounds us in the minutes we are sweating out the last days of our own personal summers. I no longer think of perspective as something we only get to see in hindsight. The experiences that we've already shown up for, we've already worked through, there are what we can turn to today and feel in our bones. We are stronger than we thought. This year I'm waiting on fall the same way I always do. I'll watch the sky, I'll listen for the rain, I'll pause at the trees with turning leaves, but I'll do it all a little more patiently, a little more gratefully, remembering that strength isn't earned in endings or beginnings, but in the space I'm forging along the way. So that's what fortitude is. I love that. Fortitude is what we cannot see, but it is along the journey itself, not the ending, not the beginning, but in the middle. That is fortitude. I learned something today. That was a good read. Maybe you didn't ask for this chapter of your story, the one that feels like a winding road with no end in sight. Yet here you are, with fortitude, showing up every turn in the path, like a river curving and carving along the edges of the banks. You are a force to be reckoned with, here to become who you were always meant to be. Wow. It's like it is reminding me and us to keep going and forging and have fortitude. It's like it's giving me a motivation and inspiration to keep going with work, and that I am doing a good job. That almost made me want to cry, because it's a rush of inspiration and truth and encouragement. Some call it grit. Life can often feel like a series of brick walls we have to climb. What if the challenges we've met, big and small, weren't there to block us, but to strengthen us? Brick by brick, we're adding layers of perseverance that build us up for what's just down the road. Painfully shy, taking wrong job, finding right guy, giving up maiden name, giving birth to twins, dad needs quadruple bypass, finding time to write, needing reading glasses, layoffs, kids need rides, housing crash, finishing first novel, broken heart, knocked out front tooth, new brother, new chores, best friend moves away, grandma moves in, spent senior year, virtual college out of state, missing mom's cooking, storm grounds flight home, switch majors, switch roommates, demanding first boss, married young, far from family, botched banks, nosy neighbors, first grade, night school, turning 50, re-enter workforce, tuition bills, winter blues, empty nest, new community. Some call it grit. Some call it grit, staying power, survival, the magical force that fuels us to brave adversity, endure, and press on. All of us have been tested in ways beyond what we may ever have imagined. Dwelling in the woe of what got in our way isn't healthy, but there is gain in recognizing what we found inside us as we fought to get through it. Perhaps we've had more suffering and hardships than most, and it seems the dark clouds never clear. Or maybe you look around and think your pain pales next to that of others. Feel you can't count yourself among the warriors. It helps to remember we're all on our own journey. Everyone gets hurt. How we measure struggle matters less than what we summon to surmount it. Whether our road has been lined with messy breakups and mundane mishaps, or loss and disappointment that made us question our very being, in these detours, what we are flexing is fortitude. By definition, this means a gathering of courage and show of strength. So take heart in knowing these are traits that define you too. It takes grit to leave the house after a bad haircut. It takes patience to weather injury or illness. It takes hope to love again after loss. It takes tenacity to chase dreams that elude us. It takes resolve to appreciate the good that comes with the bad. Did you know these forces were aligning inside you? That the events you may wish to forget were readying you for something memorable. Often, when we ground ourselves in this knowledge, it becomes easier to spot moments between the bricks that are good and worthy of pausing to acknowledge and enjoy. Look back on all you have braved and go forth unafraid. The path is seldom smooth. We hit walls, face roadblocks. We are blindsided and don't know how we'll bounce back. And yet, we do more than bounce. We pick ourselves up, unbow our heads, and keep trudging forward, bolstered with a strength we've been building all along. We come to see that the bumps in our way are actually stepping stones, steadying us for where we're going next, brick by brick. We'll get there by and by. Wherewith you should do. Where we're going, think about small obstacles you deal with in your everyday life that might be paving a way for what's to come. The things that seemingly have no purpose or don't make sense now. How might those things be working together to push you toward a new direction? Consider the good that can be found between bricks. Let these moments be solace and encouragement as you press forward. Remind yourself when things feel hard or out of your control that even now in the hard and messy times, there is growth. There is growth. These challenges might just be shaping us into the person we most want to become. Beautiful. Alison Felix, she took the button and broke through barriers. People who inspire. Who inspires you? The one who actually inspired me to come this far, and she was one of my really good aunties, and she was a teenager when I was a kid, and I looked up to her. She's my favorite inspiration. She's one of my youngest aunties, and I shouldn't say her name because I don't know if she wants to be named. But I looked up to her a lot. I still look up to her to this day. And another person who inspires me is, of course, Jesus. And this is about this woman. Let's read her quote. I was going to do everything in my power so that one day my little girl wouldn't have to hide, wouldn't have to train in the dark for what she was born to do. What a beautiful home. Everybody wants something unique to them. And this quote is by Alex, a homeowner, and it says, we wanted something unique to us. As do everybody else. Everybody wants something that is unique to them. And this is vintage vibes. Seeing potential in vintage. Wandering antiques, malls, and thrift stores is an adventure in itself and worth the trip when you're looking to add a fresh layer to the spaces you live in. Creating timeless scenes, how to shop vintage, pulling in the accents. I don't really know what my style is. I used to adore minimalism, but I just can never attain that. I used to like quirky and cutesy things in my home, but as I am growing, I don't know what I really like in a home, and I have yet to own a home sometime in the future. Until then, I don't know my style in a home yet, but I rarely gravitate towards vintage. gathering of small forces. The elements merge into a roar, and then move with no concern for what might stand in the way. Build and indiscriminate. The storm hits everything in its path with the same force. What will be able to withstand the blow? Houses fall, people are swept to the side, and yet a tree with simple stature remains exposed, faced up to the fury, and still unmoved. How powerful! The storm pushes and pulls, but forfeits when the tree holds steady, anchored too deeply to be undone. Oh, I love that. Then even as one storm passes, another begins to gather, the cycle slowly revealing itself as the way of the world. In the days between, the tree builds its strength in unseen places beneath the surface, where its roots reach to conquer darkness and fill that space with life. We too set our sights on the horizon, wondering what might approach us next, and it is here, in the quiet lull, when we must decide whether we will grow tall or deep, if we will find our strength in the brevity or fleeting things, or the beauty of forever. The choice is not made in theory, for to grow deep roots require action, courage, love, commitment. The daily alarm that goes off too early but remind us of greater goals than sleep. Showing up and showing compassion, especially when it's inconvenient, tethering ourselves only to whom and what we truly stand for. Roots growing through bold confrontation, when dreams for something lasting become reality. Obedience, one might say, to a better nature. Radical change is not made overnight, but in thousands of choices pointed in the same direction. These choices push us further and further until one day we find we are strong, we are immovable, and when we look at the horizon and see the next storm moving in, we need not to find shelter. Nothing can displace us with the strength of these roots. That is true, and that is the same with our faith. And you can find a metaphor and a beautiful parable in the Bible about trees. So beautiful. Pumpkin spice and everything nice. Every fall bids us to return to a harvest ripe with its favorite fruit. This season we welcome the call and reimagine the classical pie with playful and delicious ways to put pumpkin on the table. Speaking of which, I am going to play with my new palette that I have, and it's called Pumpkin Spice Second Slice. Ooh, pumpkin whoopie pies. That looks delicious. Pumpkin chai chocolate chip ballons. Yummy. Pumpkin crunch dump cake. Which one do you guys prefer? I think I prefer these. The pumpkin whoopie pies. I would prefer that one. Ooh, and there's more. Pumpkin spice icebox dessert. But I would still stick with the whoopie pies. And then there's pumpkin pie cheesecake bars. That sounds really good too. It's either the pumpkin pie cheesecake bars or the whoopie pies. Soups and stews, slow and slow. This looks so good. I love a hot soup with the bread. Oh, nothing can beat a bread with a soup. Oh my gosh. I'm so hungry right now. I'm getting myself hungry. If a meal could give you a hug, these one-pot wonders would offer a warm embrace. Autumn is about meals filled with you have classic beef stew, biscuit dumpling soup topper, braided loaf. I love bread. And then you have tortellini soup, butternut squash soup, cheese crisps, air fryer, chicken pea topper. I bet my sister would love that air fryer because she has one. Taking new ground, strength doesn't fit inside a box. For some, strength means holding steady for longer than you believed you could. For others, strength is in the full surrender or the solo stance or the brave race when you don't even know if you can finish a lap. Strength doesn't fit inside a box because we don't either. So when we pressed upward, inward, downward, we break the mold that once held us, and that show of strength reminds others what is possible. We share these stories to do just that, break boxes, spread belief. Annie Hawkins, beginning new chapters. Beginning new chapters is Annie Hawkins and her story, and then we have Jewel Lockridge, Showing Courage, Sam, Persevering Through Grief. Then we have the Kellys here, Trusting the Unknown, Weston, Saying Goodbye, Martinez, Choosing the Long Road, Truth Telling for Alfred, and their beautiful stories. I'm gonna read these stories off video because it is just a little bit too long. And I'll also finish this. The harder we work to get at the truth, the more of it we tend to get. I'll read that and do that off camera. And that was the end of the book. But before we close it out, let's read this. And it says, we believe in home, that it should restore us from today and ready us for tomorrow. We believe in friendship because friends who feel like family are the best kind of friends, and that nothing matters more than family. We believe in seeking the balance between hustle and rest and learning to find contentment in both. We believe everyone deserves a seat at the table and everyone has a story worth telling. We believe in human kindness, knowing we are made better when we all work together. We believe in courage, in cartwheeling past our comfort zones and trying something a little bit scary every day. We believe that failure needn't be a negative thing. Rather, we learn from our mistakes and fail smarter next time. We believe in doing good work that matters and in choosing that, nudging others towards doing the same. We believe that newer isn't always better and that it's time for the pendulum of trend to swing back to the basics. We believe in unearthing beauty, however hidden or subtle it might be. We believe that each day is a gift and that everyday miracles are scattered about if only we have the eyes to see. And of all heroic pursuits, large or small, we believe there may be none greater than a living, well loved. That was so powerful. And look here, I always wanted to try this Olay. First of all, it is really expensive and really small bottle, and I don't like the after smell, but I still want to try it out someday, but not now. Healthier looking skin in just 14 days. Very specific 14 days, okay. But it's infused with B3 complex, collagen. Olay body wash hydrates to transform skin from dry and full to dry and full